Erica and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Here on my channel, I love to talk any and everything yarn related. So this week's video is going to be a week of crochet. We're just going to be working through some knit and crochet whips and really just hanging out. I am going to my best friend's wedding this weekend out of town, and so I needed a video that was kind of low-key to film, kind of low-key to edit, and I just thought it would be fun to hang out with you guys. I just wanted to say, before we start the vlog though, thank you all so much for 2,000 subscribers. It's kind of surreal saying that. It happened a lot more quickly than I thought that it would, and I'm just so grateful that there are 2,000 of you that wanted to subscribe and come back to watch my videos over and over again. I'm really loving this little crochet knit community that we're building on our own little cozy corner of the internet, and I just love sharing this hobby and this passion with you all. Yarn people are just the very best. So thank you so much for subscribing. It is Saturday morning, and I'm really looking forward to just decompressing. This is my favorite day of the week to knit, when it's still early in the morning. But before we get started on our knitting project or our crochet project for this morning, we have to make ourselves a little drink, because if you work on a crochet project, you know a drink is absolutely mandatory. So usually I'll go get a Starbucks, but this morning I wanted to make myself a matcha. Well, it's actually a jasmine tea latte, and I thought it might be fun to show you guys how I've been making it, because it's been turning out really good and I haven't even had to go buy Starbucks as much. So let's make that drink and then we'll get into working on some projects. Welcome to my cooking show. I'm gonna show you guys how I make my latte. So for today's, I'm using this Tipo Jasmine Green. It's from the company Tipo. They've got some really great tea powders, and this one is jasmine flavored specifically, so it's not gonna be as bright green as a typical matcha is. If you like matcha and you have not tried jasmine, I highly, highly recommend trying a jasmine tea. They are delicious. Then I'm just going to use some water. I'm gonna microwave it. You can boil it on the stovetop if you wanna be official, but I'm just gonna microwave it. You really don't need very much water, just like enough to dissolve the matcha in. And you don't want the water to be boiling either, because it will cook the matcha. Well, I keep saying matcha. Jasmine? Is it a matcha? It's a jasmine tea powder. I like to go in with quite a bit of the tea powder. I just pop it right into my water. And then we'll be taking our whisk, which is a wooden whisk, and you just go back and forth and you whisk, whisk, whisk. To our cup of ice now, we're gonna add some almond milk, and we're also going to, I forgot, add some honey to our matcha and water mixture. I like it pretty sweet. And whisk, whisk, whisk. Again, this is the best part, so I'll put it up here. Just gonna pour this in. I will give it a little mix here. Let's see, is it green enough? That's not enough tea. I have to add more. Okay, let me repeat those steps again. It's really not a rocket science. We just throw this back in there. Okay, now we're getting there. Now we're green. All right, that looks right. I like mine really strong, so I went in way too light. Let's see. Yes, it's a little bit bitter. This is the most important part to counteract some of that bitterness. This is the cold foam from Target, just the coffee shop cold foam. And I just throw that on top, like so. And that's it. This is the best drink ever. I've been making it nonstop and it's delicious. Okay, that's it. Let's knit. I am working on the Hoodie Bear pattern by Nooks Hooks. She was so kind to send me the pattern, and this is what it looks like. It's so cute. I'm almost done with it. This was just something that I wanted to do for myself for fun, and so I worked on this while I was watching the Bachelor finale, which was quite juicy. If you watched it, let me know. All that's left is it needs the ears on it and then the snout to be embroidered. So I think we're just gonna finish that up this morning first and knock this one out, and then I'll show you guys what the finished little guy looks like. Look how cute he is. I am back. That was really fast. Look at how precious this came out. I forgot to mention, if you couldn't tell, that this is Winnie the Pooh. I saw it on Nooks Hook's Instagram and wanted to recreate it, but look at how precious this came out. Now that I am all done, I can say this pattern was extremely well written. She has tons of videos in the pattern as well that you can go and look at, but I didn't even need to do any of that because the instructions were so clear and just well written out. This was completely no sew, which I also thought was amazing for how, you know, shapely and cute this is. It's got pretty defined features, like the leg shaping is really well done. And then also, oh, hi Mochi. And then also I love the face shaping that we did at the end. So yeah, love this one. It turned out so cute. I'm so glad that I took some time for this personal little project. Next, we're gonna work on finishing up the Harvest Tee by Ozetta. And this is actually a knit pattern that I have been working on for so long. It's been like, it's been one of those projects that's been sitting in my WIP pile for like a year, probably. I'm so embarrassed to say that, but I got consumed by amigurumi making. So let me show you guys how far I am on this project. I'm pretty far along already. So I've already worked up, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but let's see. I've got a lot of stitches resting. So this is gonna be the back right here. And if you haven't seen Ozetta's patterns and you do knit, they're really, really pretty and well done. This one is definitely one of the more beginner-friendly ones from what I've seen that she creates. And so where we're at now, I'm working on the back panel. I need to work up one of the other shoulders here. And then we have to do something called a 3-needle bind off. And I don't know how we're gonna do that. I'm just gonna work up the right shoulder this morning, and then I think we're gonna have to order a special needle to do the 3-needle bind off. But that's something that I do love about taking it slow and doing projects one by one. You do learn different skill sets each time you try something new. Like for instance, this one, I had never done any face shaping before on my plushies. I've done it on my own boba pattern, but not on the face of a plushie. And so that was a really great skill to learn. And in this one, I'm gonna learn 3-needle bind off. Oh, and I didn't mention the yarn that I'm using for this one. So for this sweater, I am using Ravelry. Another, by the way, if you guys don't use Ravelry for keeping track of your projects, it is an amazing project management tool. I really love it. It is where I keep all of my notes on my progress. And also I'm able to say what yarn I use, so that way I can go back and reference it if I don't have the tag anymore. So this is Knitting for Olive, just the merino, and the colorway is cream. And I am knitting the Ozetta tee in a medium. I was gonna say, I'm really proud of myself for this project though, because like I said, it was sitting in my WIPs a really long time ago. And if you knit, or you're a beginner knitter like myself, you know that messing up in knitting is a lot scarier than messing up in crochet, because you have to go backwards. You have to either tinker backwards or frog your work back, and your loops are just hanging there. They're not on any like safety unless you decide to use a scrap piece of yarn, which I don't. So I'm really proud of myself for going back, because I messed up on this project at some point a really long time ago. I got kind of frustrated and I was like, I don't even want to figure out how to go back and deal with my mistake. So I just kind of like let it sit for months and months on end. But then I don't know what came over me the other day. I'm like, this is really nice yarn. It's expensive. I want to finish this project. I think it's gonna be something I will wear. Let me like brave this new frontier and figure out how to fix my mistake. And I went back and it really wasn't that hard to do. And so something I love about this hobby that we all share is that it teaches us that we can still do really hard things, or things that we perceive to be hard, and sometimes they're not as difficult as we think they're gonna be. So that's my motivational speech for this Saturday. Let's start working on this t-shirt now. Okay, well, we're gonna muster up some of that motivational talk I gave you guys earlier to go back and work on something that I just messed up in my tee. So I did my decreases on the wrong side. So the decreases are on the outside, whereas they should have been on the neckline. You can see that they're straight. So I'm gonna frog this, which terrifies me, but we're gonna do it anyway, and then we're gonna do it over again. Wish me luck. Okay, here we go. I hate this part. We're gonna pull the needle. I know I'm being dramatic, but as a new knitter, well, a beginner knitter, this part is terrifying to me. All right, we're going for it. Pull out one until 2 stitches remain. Okay. All right, we're gonna pick our stitches back up now. Let's see here. I hate doing this. I dropped a stitch. It's okay. We shall fix that on the way back. Okay. Crisis averted. We got everything back on to the needles, it looks like. And now we can just get back to where we were. I will tell you that does not get less scary with practice, for me anyway. I'm not, Mooney, come here. I've also got this little guy really just causing some sheer chaos, knocking my camera over, huh? Huh? Are you causing chaos? Are you Agent Chaos? He doesn't want to be touched. For me, that's not getting any less scary the more I do it. That's not true. It's a little less scary, but it's still really terrifying. So gonna get back to the point where we just were and actually finish this other shoulder up the correct way, and then we can look into what this whole 3 needle bind off mysterious technique is. It has been some time later, and finally I am back to the point where everything is correct. Thank goodness. That took a long time because of the mistake I made, and then I didn't show this, but I ended up making another mistake where I started using the tail to knit. I had to go backwards again, so it took a little longer than needed, but we are finally here. So I am finally done with both sides. Now it's gonna be time to do the 3 needle bind off. So I'm gonna look into what that process looks like, and I'm gonna also look into what kind of needle I need and where I can buy that. If I can get it in person, I'll go to Michael's or something, but if I have to order it on Amazon, then this project might have to wait a few days, but I will check back in when we have another update. Okay.
There it is.
All right. Okay.
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 Okay. All right. It is much later. Devin and I went to the mall, and Devin's here. He's making his official cameo for this vlog. But we went to the mall, and before I start knitting, we thought it would be fun to unbox this blind box with you guys. We went to Pop Mart, and like last weekend, when we went to the mall, Devin got me this. We went for a Labubu, but they were completely sold out, so we ended up getting a crybaby, and I got the bee, and I just think they're so cute, and I wanted another one when we went today. So we're gonna open this up together and see which one we get. These are the options for what we could get. I don't think it's focusing. I'm very sorry. But these are the options for what we could get. I
think she's gonna get super secret.
I hope so. The only thing I'm hoping I don't get is another one of these, because I really don't want to go about trading it. But let's...
you get another bamboo.
I don't want that. Okay, let's open this. All right, ready?
Okay. Moment of truth. Should I look at it first?
No! It's not... you have to
Oh, that's right. There's a package inside. Show the people.
Okay, so you open it up, and thank you, that was a good prompt. So you open it up, and then inside there is this package. Uh-oh, it's got the bumblebee on it. Hopefully that doesn't mean we got the bumblebee.
It has the other one on it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh, it's the teddy bear.
Cute. Is that one of the 6?
Yes, it is. It's one of the 6. Yeah. It's so cute. I wanted
Love
this one.
Makes Us Cry is the name of it.
Look at how cute they are. The queen of collecting things with no utility, but very cute. Love, love, love. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that one's cute.
Okay, so these are the 2 I got. This one's the new one, the teddy bear, and then this one is I'll Bring You a Flower. So cute.
Cute.
All right. Thank you for your appearance. That was all.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, now we're gonna get back to knitting. We are gonna start working on the 3 needle cast off, and I actually watched Very Pink Knits. That's my go-to when it comes to online knitting tutorials. She's just the best, and it looks like it's a lot easier than I thought it would be in the first place, and I don't need any special needles for it, so I'm just gonna use a pair of needles or one extra needle that I already have, something just maybe like either the same size if I have it or slightly bigger. And yeah, it doesn't look as difficult as I thought, so let's get working on that. I got the first side done, and this is like some kind of sorcery. Like, being able to bind off and seam at the same time is pretty magical, and it looks really nice from the outside too. And the inside just has a little bit of a seam, but look at how clean that looks. Amazing. I'm gonna work on the other side. I will say I definitely see the benefit of having double-ended needles. I am like making do with what I've got right now. I've got 3 of my needles, and then I've attached the cables, and I just try not to push them too far to the edge. So I will probably be getting some double pointed needles, but this has worked for tonight. Let's do the other shoulder now. I finished the other shoulder up, and I actually did try it on, I was so curious, but it's starting to take shape and look a bit more like a t-shirt. Now, the really funny thing about this, and I'm not gonna show you guys right now, but maybe tomorrow we'll like try it on and I'll show you guys how it's turning out. But the really funny thing is I wanted this to be kind of oversized, but like I said, I started this project so long ago that I don't remember what my reasoning was for doing a medium. Recently, I've been making everything a large. If I were to redo this project, I would make this an extra large because I do like t-shirts that are a bit boxier, clearly. Like this is a pajama shirt, but oh, Moji, please don't attack my project. This is a pajama shirt, but I do like my shirts to be pretty loose, and this is not loose. I think you could just tell it's pretty short, it's pretty small. But it does look like a nice little baby tee. So I'm still proud of how it's turning out. I'm gonna trust the process. We're gonna block it at the end and see what it looks like all together, but I just have to kind of like reset my expectations around how this t-shirt's gonna look because it's a lot smaller than I thought. And I did think it was a little curious when I was picking this project back up that past Erica chose to make a medium because that doesn't sound like me, but it was me, I guess, a year ago. So just gonna reset my expectations, but I am done for tonight with this project. I'm gonna get ready for bed. It's like 10:30, and I'm gonna hopefully have some time to work on it again tomorrow. Hi, I am back, and I wanted to do a quick check-in. I've worked on my shirt just a little bit since I last checked in with you guys. I did not record all of it because I was a little bit lost, and honestly, I just kind of wanted to work on my project without worrying about filming it. But I do want to check in with you guys because last I checked in, we had worked up the 3 needle cast off or bind off. Then I started to work on my neckline, and I did get a little bit stuck, but I think I figured it out. I kind of had to work around what the pattern said and just make do with whatever skills I had, and I think that was 100% a me problem and not a pattern problem. The reason I say that is because I've seen many people's beautiful finished harvest tees, and they did not seem to have the same issues that I had, and so I think I will chalk that up to me being a beginner knitter. I am pretty happy with how it's turning out though. This is my first like knitting pattern that I've actually followed other than a video. So this is the first time I'm actually following a true written pattern for a knit item, and I tried it on. I think I mentioned it's really small, but I like how it looks. So here it is. Ignore all of the tails. There's obviously tons of tails left out, but this is what it's looking like. It is quite small. If you look at the back, you can really see it, and important to note that this is unblocked. So once it is blocked, I do hope that it relaxes a little bit, but I think it's still looking cute. I really was wanting that oversized boxy look that is in the original pattern, which I'm going to put the picture up right here of what it should look like, or what I thought it would look like. So I've had to just kind of change the image in my mind to more of a baby tee, but still super cute. I'm still really proud of it, honestly. I do think I kind of look like one of those guys from the 80s that used to wear like the crop top with the muscle tee. I think the brother in the Goonies wore that actually. I'll put, again, another photo of that so you can see what I'm talking about here. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I will remake this again in like a large, no, probably scratch that. I'll make it in like an extra large because I like my t-shirts really big and boxy and just flowy, but this is still a really cute option and I do think I will wear it. Unfortunately, it is just a little bit see-through because I used white yarn, but I do think that like the I-cord bind off edge does look really nice. I have to seam it together still, and then of course add the sleeves, and then this baby is done. All right, got my sweater back on, ready to talk. So I am going to Nashville. I don't know if I mentioned that is where the wedding is, but that's where I'm gonna be. So I have like a 5-hour flight to get there, and I'm looking forward to some uninterrupted knitting and or crochet time where I can just put my Netflix on and just relax and get this done. So I'm imagining that I'm gonna work on most of the sleeves on the plane. If I don't get it done before then, my goal is to finish that up on the plane ride there. And then I do want to bring one more project with me in case I have the time to work on it. Of course, with it being my best friend's wedding, that's 100,000% the priority. But if I have any downtime, best believe I will be working on my projects. So for my second project, I think I want to work on this crochet bandana. It's like this floral motif crochet bandana. I am currently working on another pattern roundup video for you guys that I will record when I get back, and I'm super duper excited about it. But this was one of the patterns from that video and it kind of inspired me. That's what I love about those videos, is I find inspiration when I'm going and scouring the internet for those patterns to share with you guys, and I really want to make this one, and maybe I can wear it in the next video. So I am gonna try to look in my yarn stash, see if there's anything that I like that I can bring with me and work on this on my trip. And I think that's probably gonna be the extent of all the projects that we get to make this week. I cannot imagine that we would get to make any more. So I will probably work on this, and I don't know when I will check in with you guys again, maybe later on when we're actually working on it. Hi friends. It has been a while. I can't even remember the last time I checked in with you guys. I think it was like maybe 3 weeks ago, and this is just an honest view into what kind of a crocheter, knitter, maker I am. It's a little bit chaotic, a little all over the place. I still have not finished my shirt, and all I have to do is weave in the ends. I know that's really annoying to some of you guys probably, but it's just real. It's my truth. This is how I am. I don't love it, but you know what? It's just how we operate here. So I am gonna get the camera out and have you guys hold me accountable this morning to finish this project because we are so close to being done. I think I probably talked about the sleeves being a bit short last time we checked in, and it just doesn't look like the shirt that I expected to make. It looks way smaller and different, so I think that just kind of in the back of my mind was like, I kind of been postponing it and procrastinating on it and starting other projects. I know. So the plan for this morning, by the way, it is Friday. I have the day off work, and I am just loving that I get to spend some time this morning in the peace and quiet, working up my projects. It feels like Saturday morning cartoons for me as an adult. I'm still kind of in my pajamas, but like I said, I'm just gonna have you guys here to hold me accountable to get this project done because I really want it off of my plate. It is so close. There's no reason for this to not be finished. So we're gonna finish that, but before I do that, let me tell you guys a little bit about what I've been up to in the last few weeks. So I did order myself some new needles during this project actually on Amazon. So this is the set that goes from US 2 through US 8. And they are the metal tipped needles, and this is like the red lace collection. And the reason I got these was because I actually purchased the ones that are like I'm such a noob at knitting, can you tell? The ones that are permanently like this, what are these called? I bought these to work on socks actually with this yarn, and then I wasn't liking how they were turning out, so then I ended up frogging it, and now I started working on a shawl, and I'm in the very, very early stages of working on that shawl, but these needles are a dream to work with, and I kind of already knew I loved them because I purchased the ones that are already like the fixed ones, and so I just wanted to invest and get myself a nice little interchangeable set, and I did. I was previously working with the Clover bamboo the Clover bamboo needles, but they were a little grippy and a little bit hard to move my stitches down. They were fine. They did a great job for the oh man, I probably had them for a few years. They did a good job with that, but these are like next level, and I do not regret spending the money that I did on these. This is the Reyna pattern by Nora Backlund. It's R-E-Y-N-A. I will put the link in the description. I mean, you really can't even tell what's going on here yet, but it's going to have garter stitch all the way down the shawl, and then it will have this mesh. And I found someone on YouTube that's making really helpful YouTube videos, also going to, oh, it's Katrina's Creations Crafting Podcast. I've been following her video tutorial because, again, still a baby knitter, even though it's what my grandma taught me when I was a child. I never really progressed in it, and so I'm still leaning on some video tutorials to learn how to read the pattern as well, side by side. So lots of talking this morning, but that's what's on my needles right now. For today, the plan is finish this, block it, and then I'm going to show you guys the finished product, and we're going to end the studio vlog there because we have to, or we could just go on forever. So let's get to working on sewing in the ends. I think honestly I've been putting off weaving in the ends because with knitting I'm not that great at it, and I've done like a wool in the gang set where I think I messed up the end product because I messed the weaving in of the ends, and I am not like super advanced where I'm very good at fixing my mistakes, and I get afraid to fix my mistakes for fear of making it worse and then like completely botching the project as a whole. So I've just been putting it off, but I am gonna watch this tutorial by Very Pink Knits. It's what I pull up every single time I need to learn anything new for knitting. She has the best tutorial, so that's what I'm gonna work on this morning, and then we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this done today. We're gonna block it. I'm gonna try it on for you guys, and then we're gonna call it quits on this vlog because this is turning into a movie marathon. Okay, let's start working on this now. It has been exactly 53 minutes of weaving in ends. That is 100% not my favorite activity when it comes to fiber arts. I see why I put it off, to be honest, and I will say my craftsmanship is nowhere near perfect, but I'm trying to look at this through the lens of like, did I make a shirt? Yeah, I did knit a shirt, actually. Like, this does look like a t-shirt, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna block it now, and then we're going to try it on at the end, and then we'll wrap the vlog up. But before I do block it, the way I do it is I use this Eucalyptus delicate wool wash. I saw online somebody recommended this because, and I use this for crochet blocking as well, if I'm wet blocking. If I'm using acrylic, I'll usually do a light steam block, just being careful not to get too close to the heat, but I am using a wool wash for this one because it is 100% wool, and so I'm excited to see how this stretches out a little bit. We're gonna try to block it and make it a little bit bigger of a t-shirt. I know I mentioned that the sleeves were a little short. I did do that on purpose. I was trying it on as I was going, and I didn't like the look of the super long sleeves. Since it was so small, I wanted the sleeves to be a bit shorter too, but we'll see how it all looks when it's tried on. Like I said, it is definitely nowhere near perfect. I'll show you guys an up close of my stitches at the end, but from afar, it is a t-shirt. So we did what we set out to do. Now, is it the t-shirt I envisioned? No, not necessarily, but I'm still learning. I'm still growing when it comes to knitting, and I think that I ought to be pretty proud overall. So let's get to blocking this. All right, please forgive the maybe less than flattering angle. I am actually gonna block upstairs because we have some guys coming to remove our couch from our storage unit. So I wanna be out of the way in there. So I brought my stuff upstairs, and I did actually just recently get this knit blocking comb set that I'm really excited to try out. I got it off of Amazon. I don't think it was very expensive. I know the Knit Picks ones, I think, are the ones that are a little costlier. These are some off-brand, but I'm really excited to try them. If you're not familiar with what these are, there's Mochi. These are like the single pins that you can use, and I was using these for blocking, but they're very slow and tedious to work with because you have to do them one by one. And so I've seen these, but I didn't invest in them for a while. These are knit blockers, but they're like combs. And so it comes with a bunch of these in pink, of course, that have like 4 needles just on a comb, and then it also has these larger ones. And I think that this is just gonna make blocking so much easier and faster to do. This set also came with some single pins and then a nice little measuring tape. I will link this in the description box down below, what I ordered. Hopefully they're good quality. I'll let you guys know how I like them, but let's get to blocking. I'm excited to check this project off the list. It has literally been like over a year in the making because I keep starting. So we're almost to the finish line. Blocking, I like much more than weaving in ends. I feel like you get a little bit more of that instant gratification versus like weaving in ends is truly tedious. And now with these, this will be even less tedious. So let's get to blocking. Confirming that these pins are amazing. Now please ignore the fact that this shirt looks like a very weird shape. It looks very wide and short, but we're just gonna have some faith and see how it looks. Maybe I should have made the sleeves longer. We're gonna find out. But anyway, to the pins, highly recommend. It took a process that usually takes, I don't know, 30 minutes with these tiny little single pins to like 5 minutes. So worth the $20 or $30 I spent on them. I can't remember. Hi, it is the next day and I've picked up my t-shirt and it is all done being blocked, and I feel like just even initial thoughts, you can tell it looks like there's a bit more drape, and honestly from afar this looks pretty great. I will show you guys up close some of those areas that I thought I could improve on after I try it on for you all, but I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks so far. But let me go ahead and try this on for you guys and then we will really close out the vlog here. All right, here it is. Please ignore the black bra underneath. I didn't put on a tank top. I would probably wear like a white tank top underneath this just to prevent it from being see-through. But here it is. This is how long it goes down to the bottom. I think that the rolled hem down at the bottom looks really nice. I'm actually happy with where I stopped on the sleeves. When it was being blocked, it did look a little bit weird in proportion to the rest of it, but now that it's on, I do think because of this drop sleeve, it was the perfect length for me to stop at, so I'm really happy with that. And I do actually think that I will wear this shirt. I think it turned out really cute. Different from what I saw in the pattern, different from my vision, but still very cute. So overall, I am really happy with this. Happy that I revisited the pattern and didn't just let this rot away in my WIP graveyard forever, because that was tempting to do. But let me take this off and show you guys up close some of the areas that I would like to improve on in my next go around. So I'll be right back. So up close, here are some of the things that I would fix next time. And if you are an advanced knitter or even someone that's just more proficient than me and you have any tips, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm all ears. But when I did the grabbing, when I started knitting on and picking up stitches at the collar edge, I feel like you can just see there's like quite a bit of gapping, and that is something that I would like to fix next time. It's especially obvious right here, and even after that was done, just knowing how to like fix it and seam it shut is something that I need to figure out. The other thing that kind of bothered me, and this happened to me when I was knitting socks as well, is working with the magic loop. You can see where the seam is of when I was switching between the needles and moving from one needle to the next. And I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if it's because I need to work on a set of double pointed needles. I tried to make my first and last stitch tight so that way I wouldn't see that gap, but I still am seeing part of that. Oh, and then the bind off. The bind off for the sleeves, I just did the typical bind off because I saw online it says it doesn't have to be elastic because it doesn't need to stretch, but I think in the future I would still do a stretchy bind off anyway. I just don't like how it really looks. It looks really like stiff and it feels really stiff, and in the future I would just want to make it a bit more elasticy. But overall, I am super proud of this project. It honestly turned out better than I expected. I know I went through a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions with this shirt. I felt like I was proud of it, then I wasn't proud of it, then I put it off, and now I actually genuinely am proud of it looking at it because, like I said, I had not done a pattern that was written and made my own knitwear before, and so this is a first for me, and I think it deserves me being proud of it. It's an item that I should be proud of. It turned out really well. I can actually wear this in the summer with jeans or jean shorts, and it will look really, really cute. So that's it. We're gonna end the vlog here. I know that we spent a lot of time focused just on this one item. I am newer to knitting, so it took me a while to get through everything, but I hope that you still enjoyed this studio vlog and you enjoyed some of the side quests we went on, whether it was unboxing the blind box with Devin or making a Jasmine tea latte in the beginning. I hope that you just enjoyed hanging out with me and chatting and just going with the flow a little bit more in this one. If you did, please feel free to like, subscribe, and I will be back in the future with more crochet related content very soon. Thank you. Bye.
Wow, that shirt looks amazing. Whoa, did you make that shirt? Oh my gosh.
This is it in the wild.
You did a great job. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Look at that. Doesn't look handmade.